Hello Gameovers, I'm Nicholas Skinner with Skinner Games, and we are here with game reviews in 5 minutes or less. In this episode, we'll be talking about Plastic Hand Games, The Adventurer's Guide to Dungeons. Now, this is a recent Kickstarter that we had, and I'll just read the back of it because it's pretty descriptive. The Adventurer's Guide to Dungeons is a complete dungeon in a box. 54 double-sided cards you can use to create endless dungeon layout. And that's totally true. These cards are pretty nifty. I don't know if you can see, they've actually got a nice linen texture there, and they are indeed double-sided. And now they're about the same, I don't know, weight of card back, if you will, as your normal playing cards. But the linen cover makes them, nice to feel, makes them, I think, a little bit more sturdy. And you get quite a few of these in a package here. You get both open doors and closed doors. We've seen the corners, blank spots. There's even a different style of blank. A nifty room. I don't know how well the camera's going to focus on that because I'm out in my workshop instead of in my house, but there is a nice, looks like a bit of a shrine there. And we have a set of stairs that go down or up, depending on which way you put it, obviously. And there's a whole stack of these. They work really, really well on the tabletop. We ordered 2 boxes when we backed the Kickstarter because we thought, why not? 54 cards is quite a bit, especially for double-sided as well. Who doesn't like huge dungeons? But I'm going to bring you now down to the table so that we can take a look at some miniatures on a small room. Okay, so here we have a small 3x3 setup for the cards. So it's a small room, and some miniatures that we've placed on it. Some of the new miniatures from D&D, some miniatures from Frostgrave, and one of the old D&D minis. But here you can see that they fit quite well on here. I don't have them on their 1-inch grid, so you can't really, see that if you want, or the 1-inch rounds that they come with their bases. I haven't finished painting them yet, obviously, as you can tell by the, mostly done but not done Displacer Beast right here. They fit really well on these cards. They are 2x2 squares, so you can fit quite a bit of stuff on here. The one funky thing that I'm still kind of torn about is the rooms, or the walls rather, being in the middle of the cards. I understand why they did it, because if you line them up you can do it like this pretty easily. And it actually makes for building a room pretty good, but you get funky lines sometimes where walls don't really line up. But for me, that's not really a deal breaker. These are really good cards. They're really good heavy weight. It's a nice small box, so you can pack them around with you if you're the DM or GM. We'll be using them in my monthly tabletop game, and they're really good cards. I'm glad we backed it. I've talked to Plastic Hand Games, and they have said that they will be making these available soon on their online website. Post a link in the description below, so feel free to take a look at that. Next week we'll also be taking a look at some more retro games. Now this, for those of you who don't know, is the Holmes Basic Edition of D&D. It came before 1st edition, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, but after 0 edition. But that's not all we'll be taking a look at. We'll also be looking at the retro clone of it, Blue Home, because we have the Prentice rules, and they are very, very good. We also have, bing, the Journeyman rules. Now this is currently a Kickstarter that you can back because it needs art. As you can see, there's not a whole lot in there. There's 1 or 2 pieces as test, but for the vast majority of art, it is completely missing. Now this takes the original Holmes rules, which was only up to level 3, also the Prentice rules, which cloned that, and brings it up to level 20. Now it's kind of a neat bridge between 1st edition and 0 edition, and I'll get more into that during that review, but it's a really sweet system, and I think you guys should take a look at it if you haven't already. But we are here to talk about this. The Adventurer's Guide to Dungeons is totally worth the money. When you see it, or keep an eye on it in Plastic Hands Games, you can find they have a Facebook page, you can look at it, and as I said, we'll post some links below. Keep an eye out for these. They're really slick, and I think you guys will like them. I hope you have a good time. Happy gaming.